welcome back to Irish Footy Vlogs. Delighted to welcome former St. Patrick's Athletic defender Ben Curtis onto the show. Ben, how are you doing? You well?
Oh, good, Keith. How are you?
Fantastic. I'm not too bad. Now, obviously, it's probably been an emotional time for you. You've only left St. Patrick's Athletic now a few days. How's that been for you?
Yeah, no, you're hit the nail on the head there. It's been definitely an emotional few days for me. I didn't think it was going to hit so hard, but I think obviously going into professional football for the first time, was a big jump for me and my brother going in there, and we were there halfway during last season, and things didn't go too well with Stevie leaving and stuff, which was sort of unexpected for me at the time. I didn't really know what to make of it, but it was a fresh start for me this season going in with him being there and getting the full pre-season into me to impress. But the connections I've made at Pats have been unbelievable, and I wouldn't really change it for a thing, to be honest with you.
Yeah, obviously, you spoke about Sam there, and it's obviously a football and family, isn't it? Is it just yourself and Sam?
No, there's two more brothers there behind us as well, sort of coming up now. So hopefully we'll see more of them in the future.
Yeah, I think I've heard of one of them for sure. So that must be
Oh
an
yeah.
interesting dynamic, is it? Like you're coming up basically. I mean, there must be football boots everywhere in the house, and
Oh yeah, yeah. No, there is like, and it's. I'm very lucky to have brothers like that, because not a lot of people do. And
Mm.
when you're stuck at home and you don't really be doing, it's just a simple kick of the football out on the road with the brothers, and that's it.
Yeah, would you still be inclined to do that even now?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, that doesn't change. That's been the way it's been for all the years. So I don't think that's going to change with us.
Yeah, no, that's interesting because a lot of people, obviously, when they become professional or go to clubs like St. Patrick's Leg or whatever, like, and sometimes that little bit of joy is lost from when kids are growing up and playing schoolboy football and that, and you don't find you've lost that personally, have you?
No, I don't think so. I think that's just been in me. And we did have maybe moments where me and Sam would
Mhm.
say to the two young ones, "Oh, look, we've had a long day of training. We're just going to stay in." But no, it's nice to be out there with them and see them enjoying themselves in their football and just trying to get better. It's really nice to see. Like,
And would you give them advice and stuff?
for sure, for sure.
Yeah,
Like the youngest one now is with Kevin's, and
yeah.
he's really coming up fast, and we can see his potential already. So it's frightening how good he is, but me and Sam to be there to give him advice and stuff, and we try our best to help. But you have to remember he's still young, so he's
Mm.
you can't say too much, but we're just sort of letting him develop now. Do you know what I mean? We see where it goes with him, but he's a very good footballer. Yeah,
Yeah, it must be funny for you and Sam to be giving advice because you're still young enough yourselves, to say the least.
yeah. That I think that's what we forget sometimes. How young we both are, and
Yeah.
I think when you go into an environment with big players like with Owen Doyle and Giff Forrester and stuff, you just that maturity just kicks in, and you feel like you're in your late 20s nearly sometimes, but you forget your age. But no, it's very good to be able to give your younger brother like advice. You know what I mean?
What's it like actually in the when you're in the Pats Academy and that, and obviously coming through the last year or so or whatever? How did you find the academy? Is there, I suppose, like it's got a great reputation, hasn't it? Like, why has it a great reputation for you?
Yeah, look, I think it's definitely the work that goes in there. The people that are there. I think the facilities as well. Obviously, the academy is small and Blanche.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's the facilities. You have your gym there, you have your astro pitch, you have everything you sort of need with your strength conditioning coaches and stuff. I don't think I've actually seen a better academy from where I've been than St. Pat's, and they're always looking to push their academy players if they're ready up into the first team. So I think it's definitely a great pathway to be in.
How would you describe yourself as a player? What are your major attributes? You're obviously a central defender by trade, aren't you?
Yeah, look, I started off as an attacker when I was younger. I think most
Everyone
people
does.
do, and I think most people do, and as the years went on, I sort of came back down the pitch, and when I went to Kevin's, it was probably the biggest step I've taken was definitely jumping from playing local down in Navan to
Mm.
moving up to a Dublin side. The
How
the
old were you
level.
when you did that? Actually, when you made that jump?
I think I could have been 12 maybe when I went to St. Kevin's.
And how did you find the jump? Was it? I'd say the intensity was the difference of
Yeah,
intensity is the big thing, is it?
yeah. It was the whole sort of professionalism at such a young
Mm.
age. I wasn't used to. When I was down here, it was 2 nights a week, and you'd pay
Mm.
your subs and that. And when I went up to Kevin's for the first time, I remember they had the big head tennis net set up, and everyone was warming up and stretching. I didn't know what to make of it. And there were some big players in that Kevin's team as well, Evan Ferguson and Sean Grett and Jamie Mullins. So it was a great team to be on, but it was definitely the professionalism of the training and the intensity and stuff for sure. Like it was massive.
You obviously won the under-19 league this year. That must have been a great moment for you personally, and obviously the club. But for you personally, it must have been fantastic as well to win that, because I know you lost the cup final there, and that would be a disappointment. But it's the league is always the one, like, isn't it? Really, like, it's a barometer of how good a team actually is winning a league.
For sure, for sure. Like it was, in the before the group stage or the knockout stages and stuff near the end of the league, we struggled. We struggled. I was out with injury and we were struggling for results and stuff, and the group we have was fantastic. We were a very young group. We all worked hard. We were always mentally drilled in together, and we knew what way each other played. But like we had Sean O'Connor there as the manager and Noel Cully as the assistant and Webby and stuff. It was a great bunch, and I knew if we found our way, there wasn't anyone that was going to stop us from going on to success. And I was delighted, definitely personally, if I win the league, because since under 15s I've been in every final and haven't came out on the right side, unfortunately.
Oh, no,
but
really?
It was nice to be on the winning side this time,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's a good way to finish off, I suppose. Obviously, the cup final was a bit of a disappointment. I was there as well, but it felt like Bohemians, sometimes I think when a team wins a league, subconsciously, they lack that bit of an edge when it comes to a cup final. And Bohs, I think, just looked very hungry, didn't they, on the day? And obviously, Jamie Mullen scored a cracker as well.
Yeah, for sure. Like as I sort of said to the group before the game, and the manager spoke about it, when you're in a cup final, the league goes out the window. It feels better on the day. So Bohs came out of the traps and they were very, very intense. They got up the pitch and they squeezed us in. We didn't really know what to make of it. We couldn't really play out and stuff, and we couldn't find our feet for a good long spell of the game. But no, credit to Bohs, they were definitely ready for it. And once they got their goal, we sort of picked it up, but it was nearly too late at that stage.
Yeah, best player you've ever played with so far, anyway, in your career?
Is that senior level or is that my age? Or
we'll go both. Why not?
Go
senior both. And maybe who you came up with, like at youth level and that.
Yeah, who I came up with, it's an easy enough one, but there's been loads of players. There's been God, I can't even think about the amount of players that I played with that have came up and have done really well for themselves. But I'd have to say Evan Ferguson, definitely for my age. He was one that was always first into training and worked so hard. It was unbelievable. And once I started going back into the defensive position, I was more up against him, so I got to see what he was really like. But he's definitely a special player, and he's done really well for himself. So it's really nice to see. Look,
yeah, he's always been physically big for his age, hasn't he?
For sure, he's always been a big lad and very strong. But a lot of people that say that about him, but stuff that you see him doing, off the pitch and stuff really developed him. So he's definitely got where he deserves to be.
Yeah, who's the best player, I suppose, you've come up against so far? Evan Ferguson.
I'd have to say Evan. Like when I was with Shamrock Rovers, we played Bohs in the final. I think it could have been the cup, I think it was the cup, and we played them in the UCD Bowl. But he was just a big physical presence. He knows how to hold the ball up. He knows when to run behind. He can, once he's in front of the goal, he knows where it is. He doesn't have to look twice. So
he's got dash of pace on him as well, hasn't he? He's got a bit of pace. He's not slow or anything. Like he's got nearly everything there in his locker.
He's got everything, and so when he uses his arms and stuff against you, he's very hard to get in around and nick the ball off. So no, I'd have to say play against it would be Evan Ferguson. Yeah.
Who would you say in the Pat senior squad at this minute in time is, I suppose, the best player in your opinion, or maybe the player you'd look up to or whatever?
Yeah, look, there's loads of talent in that dressing room, and that's me saying that from a young age. But I think definitely Guy Forrester is he's one where you look at a few things he does in training, and people see it on the pitch the odd time with the stuff he does, and you really think to yourself, has he really just done that? Like it's frightening the stuff he's able to do. And you know what, he's been a really big influence for me at Pat. Definitely, he's definitely a leader in the ways he shows how to train and how to do things right, and he has a standard as well, which is really nice.
Yeah, he's, I suppose, bags of experience from being abroad and coming back and all that sort of thing as well. And I suppose he'd be good at giving advice, I'd imagine, as well, would he, to youngsters?
For sure. Like in training, if if he sees something, he won't be afraid to tell you. And at a young age, it's hard to take, but you can't really dwell on it. You just take it and move on and learn from it. So yeah, that definitely say give Forrester on that one.
Yeah, that's probably a test for young players as well. I'd say he's testing young players, see what their mentality is like a little bit as well. There's
Yeah,
part of that I'd say that comes into it, yeah.
for
What
sure, for
managers
sure.
that you've come up, I suppose, through it could be youth football as well, or any level really, but what managers would you say maybe you respect the most, or you felt were very, very good to you or helped you a lot?
Yeah,
Or
when I went to
coaches, managers, the same thing really.
yeah, I've every sort of manager and coach I've worked with have
Yeah,
been really good. I've worked with Carl Lam at Kevin's and Rob Doran when I was there
yeah.
young, and we had the Academy Cup and stuff. Nearly the year after I came to Kevin's, which you done really well in. We lost in penalties in the final, I think, and
Mm.
them two really really look after me and stuff because it was a tough time trying to just develop and get up to speed with things. But now they looked after me really well. But manager wise, I have to say Sean O'Connor. He's one that's very into his football. He gives it everything to make sure that we're doing well, and the stuff, the detail he goes into sometimes it's really I know it's a lot, but you have to really respect it because I think this year he's been really good to us and he really understood the group. So it was nice to have that sort of relationship with him again this year. And Niall Cully as well is unbelievable, and he sees stuff from personal levels and he remembers that players are people as well. So it was really nice to work with them again this year.
I know you've only left the club, but have you spoken to any clubs yet? We won't name drop any, but have you spoken to any clubs yet?
Yeah, I have. I have been. Obviously, my agents have
Yeah.
been doing a few bit of work behind the background and stuff, and there's options there. But
Mm.
at this time, I'm really enjoying the break. It's
Mm.
nice to be with my family and it's not really stressing about too much stuff. But I'm sure stuff will start to come out now as we get closer to January.
Yeah, I suppose that's a good point. Like it's near the end of the season, or it's the end of the season, so you can actually kind of sit back and relax and maybe think about it and give yourself a bit of time because it is important what you choose, isn't it? The next move it can be a difficult decision, can't it? Like for anybody, really.
For sure, it's definitely a big one now for me because I think
Mm.
next year I need to be somewhere where I can get minutes and sort of show what I'm able to do. Unfortunately, it didn't happen this year, but when you look at my position and where I play and who was there already and Pats, it was always going to be a difficult one. So yeah, look, it's one that'll sort of sit on with my family and my agents and stuff and make sure we pick the right club.
Look, Ben, that was brilliant. Enjoy that. Thanks very much for coming on. Fair play to you.
No worries, Keith. Take care.